children of the one Yahweh. Ye are the chosen of the one Yahweh. And he has given his laws to us. Everything belongs to him.
Can we keep the law?
Can we keep the law?
Yeah.
Give me Philippians 4:13.
I'm not talking about the Big Ten.
All of them, right?
Yeah, in this captivity, can we keep all the law?
Philippians 4:13.
This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthen me.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
But does that really answer the question? We in captivity, brother?
Yeah, we are.
We can't keep the law.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
Real quick, brother. Because I want to answer that.
Go ahead.
Christ was under the Romans, right?
Yes.
Was he in captivity? They were in captivity under the Romans, are they not? They weren't?
Christ wasn't captive to nobody.
He wasn't captive. What do you mean he wasn't captive to nobody? His people, I'm talking about his people, brother.
Oh yeah.
The nation, the children of Israel were in captivity under the Romans.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right?
Yes, sir.
Did he keep the law?
So he was perfect.
There you go. So if he can do it, give me first.
But we got repentance, right?
Do we have repentance? Certainly.
But he didn't repent for anything.
No, because he was perfect.
Because he was.
But yes, but hold on. We can do all things through him.
Christ.
Through
But
Christ.
That's repentance, right?
But hold on, brother. I'm trying to answer your question. Give me 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter. 1 Peter 2. Let me see. Start at 21.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us,
So Christ suffered for us, right? Go ahead.
leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
You see that? So Christ left us an example that we should follow his steps. So if he was in captivity and he kept the law, then us being in captivity, we can keep the law. Because we're supposed to follow in his footsteps. That's why, what did Christ say? Everything that Christ says is a commandment, right? What did he say? Matthew 5:48. Be ye therefore perfect.
Yeah. But perfect means that, what was his name? Solomon. He was perfect, but he was righteous.
No, he wasn't perfect. Give me 1
He
Kings
was
11.
righteous, but he wasn't perfect, right?
He wasn't perfect as David, his father, was. That's what 1 Kings, we're going to show you that real quick. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 4. Because you can be, real quick, you can be perfect and still stumble.
Okay,
You see
that's
that?
what I was
Because David, he messed up a little bit, but he was still called perfect. You see that? So give me 1 Kings 11 and 4.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 4. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
So Solomon had all these other women, and they turned him from serving the God of the Bible, right? The God of the Hebrews, the God of the Israelites, the true God. Go ahead.
And his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father.
You see that? So Solomon's heart wasn't perfect as the heart of David, his father's heart was. Because that's why, that scripture tells you that David had a, there's a scripture, I think it's in Acts, it tells you that David had a heart like God, right? I think it's in Acts the 3rd chapter, it might be the 13th chapter. Matter of fact, let's get that, get Acts the 13th chapter. That's around 20, let me see. Acts 13, and start 22, perfect.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 22. And when he had removed him,
Him is talking about Saul. God removed Saul from being king of Israel. Go ahead.
he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart.
You see that? So he found David the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart. David had a perfect heart, a heart like God. You see that? But he still stumbled. That's why the scripture say a righteous man falls 7 times, but he's going to get back up. You see what I'm saying?
But going back to the law, it's hard to keep it. It's hard to keep it in this captivity.
It's hard, but it's not impossible, brother. We can do all things through Christ. He's that example for us. So just because something's hard doesn't mean you should give up.
No, I didn't say give up. But I'm saying, but to keep the law perfectly, well, we already went over that.
Okay, well now give me Luke. Give me Luke the 1st chapter, because we show an example of, you said that was Christ, right?
Right.
He was perfect. But let me show you another example. Get Luke 1. You there? Okay. Let me see. Luke chapter 1, verse 5 and 6. Watch this. Because now we're going to go before Christ. Right before Christ. Now remember, the Israelites, they were still under captivity under the Romans.
Right.
So if they kept the law back then, and they were in captivity, then we should be able to in the same respect, right? So Luke 1, 5 and 6.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 5. There was in the days of Herod the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias.
Zacharias, the father of John the Baptist. Go ahead.
Of the course of Abia, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth.
So you have John the Baptist's parents, Elizabeth and Zacharias, right? Go ahead.
And they were both righteous before God.
They were both righteous. This is before Christ. This is under captivity under the Romans. Go ahead.
Walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless.
You see that? And they were under captivity, but they were still walking in all the commandments of the Lord blameless.
Appreciate it. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Yeah, they're not grievous, brother. They're not grievous. So it may be hard in certain senses. It may be, you may have to, in a sense, go out of your way to keep them, but you should try to, brother.
Yeah, we try to keep the commandments, bro. It's hard, bro.
It's hard, but give me proof
And
for
we work.
Huh?
So we work, me and my wife, we work. Sometimes we got to break the Sabbath day. You know what I'm saying? We got Christians as family members. It's hard, bro. And hell, you see what I ride a Harley, I listen to goddamn rock and roll.
Yeah,
does that make me unrighteous?
You said, I couldn't hear the last part you said about the
I
heart.
said I ride a Harley, I listen to rock and roll. Does that make me unrighteous?
No. How would that make you unrighteous?
I'm just asking.
No. There's no sin. The scripture say, well, there is no law, there is no transgression. There's no law saying you can't ride a Harley Davidson and listen to rock and roll. Sounds. I mean, I'm not a big fan. I don't like rock and roll too much, but hey, that don't sound too bad to me though, right? So you ain't wrong for that, brother.
So here's why I asked that, because I know the Edomites are in.
Right.
I know most people who got there do rock and roll, the Edomites. Right?
Well, who created rock and roll though?
We did.
We did. All right. So the type of rock and roll that white people listen to, and the type of rock and roll that our people listen to is two totally different things. Like Jimi Hendrix and then what's Metallica?
Yeah.
That the screamo, yelling and stuff. That's what they listen to. The type of rock and roll we listen to, there's rhythm, there's meaning, there's substance to it. The type of rock and roll that the so-called white man listens to is just a bunch of loud noises. That's not the same. You see what I'm saying, brother?
Let me ask you another question. Are all the prophets black?
Are all the prophets black?
Or all the prophets black?
All the prophets black? What do you mean black? Like
Negro.
Negro, they're Negroid.
Right.
But here's the thing though.
Negroid is not.
Well, not that term, but they're okay.
Pseudoscience.
My bad. We all come from the stock of black men, right? Now, could you have someone that may look? What is your definition of black? That's why I gotta understand what your definition of black. Like black like you, black like me, or what you mean?
Let's do it the way Jonathan defines
Jonathan defines. What do you mean as?
Yeah. I ain't talking about Hamitic people. I'm talking about descendants of Shem. Black.
Are they all okay? Are they all Israelites? Is what you're saying?
Well, no. Were they all? Yeah. Were they all?
Okay. Yes, they are. Give
No.
me
That's not. No, you told me all. Were they all? Like
dark skin?
Yeah, from Judah.
I mean, the prophets are old.
Prophets are old.
I mean, most of the ones that we see, they're certainly dark skinned, but doesn't mean all of them have to be so like dark skinned. Like, okay, for example, I'm a light skinned brother, right?
Right.
There's a possibility that I could be a prophet. Now,
Right.
am I as dark as Wesley Snipes? No. So when we say black, like what you mean?
Bird, I got that.
Right, exactly. So I'm saying like, so we're gonna come in various shapes and sizes and
So
colors.
I'm just trying to figure out how. It's a big debate in Israel about Hispanics and Native Americans being Israel. Some say all Israel is Negro.
Okay.
I just want to really, that's what I was getting to.
Is all Israel Negro? Well, I mean, you did a presentation.
Okay. Here's the first thing we have to understand. Your concept of what a Negro is not real.
Okay.
It's not scientific, right? Every people of the earth is the same, except for two people, Caucasians and Mongoloids. Why are they different? Because of their mutations, right? So scientifically, if you look phenotypically at a skull of a person from the Americas or a person from Africa, you're not even going to be able to tell the difference, right? The only way people tell the difference is they call it skin deep, right? People look at a different hue, but then again, you got a Negro that's a different hue, right? You a brother. I know you got light skinned people, you got brown skin, dark. You got every shade up in your family. You see what I'm saying? So here we have that, right? But then people want to have this divide, right? I'm explaining. Give me first give me Zechariah 11:14. Let's start there, right? So there's this divide, and the divide really comes from the white man trying to tell us all these differential things, right? When the white man took Native American slaves in the Pequot War and enslaved them, and he sent them to the islands, he said, these are cannibal Negroes. But these were straight up Native American. How you look at your stereotypical Native American, how they depicted and painted, is the same way that they called them Negroes, right? So when we take a look at the term Negro in its oldest form, just means a person with dark skin, right? So we know it's various people with dark skin all over the world, right? So instead of calling it Negro, the more popular thing to call it, the more accurate thing to call it would be normal, right? You got all these people on this sign is normal, right? Then we have mutant, the abnormal with the mutant white man or the mutant Asian, that's a mongoloid, dealing with incest, right? All the rest of us are normal, and we all come from a climate zone, because when you deal with the world is sectioned off into 3 climate zones. You got zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. The climate zone that Israel is in, sub-Saharan Africa is in, most of the Americas is in, is climate zone 2, where people range from light brown to dark brown. You see what I'm saying? So just in all of that, a lot of people, they're employing arguments that they don't even understand, like the concept of Negroid, Negro, that comes from a science group that existed in the 1780s called the Gotensburg, right? And then the Gotensburg was in Germany. It was racist white Germans that created that there's a Negroid, a Mongoloid, and a Caucasoid, right? But he only created 3 things, right? So we know the white man is a Caucasoid. We know the Asian is the Mongoloid. So does that mean everyone else is a Negro? By default, that's what they're saying. Everyone else is what you would call, more importantly, normal. Everyone else was normal. That's why when Esau was born, they remarked, he's red all over. Jacob is normal, he's red all over. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff comes from this, a lot of us misunderstanding science and misunderstanding history. And also, most importantly, misunderstanding the scriptures, right? So read that.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 14.
Read on.
Then I cut asunder my other staff, even bands that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel.
So what happened, he said, I'm breaking the brotherhood. So people say, oh, we're not getting along and this and that. The brotherhood has been broken, right? Have you ever heard the rhetoric that there's some type of race war in California?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm from California, right? It's a damn lie, right? The number one thing they're talking about is a war between 2 gangs, right? The one gang is called East Coast Crip, the other gang is called Florencia 13. You know why they beefing? Ain't got nothing to do with race. They used to be cool. Then the East Coast Crip stole 40 bricks from the Mexicans. Now they're at war. Ain't got nothing to do with race. It's got to do with you stole a bunch of cocaine from me, and now I got problems with you. Naturally, this is what happens, right? So it's a lot of things like that that happen, and then the media comes in, and they paint it as a race war because they want to push a narrative that continues the divide between blacks and Hispanics. Because us coming together is their greatest fear. And I get Ezekiel 37, right? That's their greatest fear. So they push this agenda so they can say, look, y'all ain't supposed to like each other. Y'all ain't supposed to like each other. But if we just analyze, okay, what happened? Why don't these 2 groups like each other? Oh, somebody robbed 40 bricks from me? Oh, I'm not gonna like nobody who stole that much from me. Are you kidding me? You see, and now people are making it a racial thing, but it's not a racial thing. It's you took something from me, and these are 2 gangs that are fighting. It's a gang thing. Same way Bloods and Crips fight, the same way the Mexican gangs fight each other. Sometimes it crosses lines, but usually it's not just because one race don't like another, because somebody did something to somebody. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And when we start following a lot of origins of a lot of these things, right? Like you had a lot of Central Americans started coming to LA, right? When the Central Americans came to LA, the Mexicans picked on them. So then they formed their own gang, right? To defend themselves. That's called MS-13, right? Even then, when a lot of Mexicans was coming from Mexico to LA, blacks was picking on them. So then they formed their own gangs to defend themselves against the black. And you have OGs, Crips, Bloods will say, yeah, when the Mexicans was first coming in, we was bullying them, we was robbing them. And then so naturally, these people band together and they defend themselves. And now we're blaming the victim for standing up for himself and saying the victim is, no, you came and you robbed from me when I was just walking to the store trying to get some candy. And that happened so much to a point where now I got to resist against that, right? But because the white man called one of us Latino and one of us black, they then turned it into there's a racial issue. It's not a racial issue. It's 2 groups of people that's beefing about it, and you want to add that on there to push your agenda, right? So get the No More 2 Nations part. I believe that's about 15, right? Because what happened was when he broke our unity, like it says in the prophecy, we 2 nations now. We're not functioning like we are the Israelites. We functioning like we Judeans and y'all are Israel. We Southern Kingdom and you're Northern Kingdom. We're not even the same, right? So read that.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 15.
18 is the point. No more two nations. 20. Oh, where no more two nations at? That's what I need. 22. Okay, 22. Go ahead. Yeah, there you go.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 22.
Read on.
And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel.
So God said He gonna make us one nation. With the Most High, He gonna make us. We not currently one nation. He gonna make us one nation. Read.
And one king shall be king to them all.
This is how we know what it's talking about. Because when we coming together, one nation, one king is talking about Christ, right? Yahushua. So this is how we know when it ain't happened yet. So we gonna function as two nations until this time, right? Read.
And there shall be no more two nations. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
We ain't going to divide ourselves no more. See, that divide is there, and the white man is there making sure he's doing his job as a devil and enforcing this divide as much as he can. He's seeing our people come together. He's seeing our people be collective. Now I got to force the divide more, right? Read on. See, that's why, you got to understand, the white man, he's pushing Cardi B right now. Cardi B, the biggest thing in the world right now. And the reason why he's pushing it because he's trying to push her out there as a degenerate activity, right? A lewd behavior and things like that. But what he don't realize is it's backfiring on her because all she's doing is bridging the gap because she's Dominican, right? But here she is rapping and she's doing rap songs that got like some Spanish music. All they doing is bridging the gap. They're not realizing the Most High is set against this white man so much that he's going to bring him out of power that everything the white man do, he's just shooting himself in the foot every time. You try to do this, look what we did with that. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High, He gonna figure it out either way, right? So finish that.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols.
Exactly. So not only are we going to not divide ourselves anymore, we're not going to be following idols. We're going to be following the law and such commandments under who the world called Christ Yahushua. That's what's coming in prophecy. So until that prophecy comes, you're going to see people functioning this too. You see what I'm saying? They're not always being united on everything. You got something called, have you heard of this ADOS thing?
What is that?
American Descendants of Slaves.
No.
Right, so ADOS is basically like the tribe of Judah saying all the rest of you, all you niggas from the island, you Latinos, to hell with y'all, basically. You see what I'm saying? They're taking, you know the rhetoric that Donald Trump said about Mexicans? They come in here, they bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they stealing jobs. What they doing now is, you got Negroes that's following the white man that are now saying, you Jamaicans, you Haitians, and you Latino, y'all are coming stealing our jobs, y'all are trying to take our place in America, right? They're utilizing all of this rhetoric, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And the white man is making sure to fuel that now. You see what I'm saying? Because what he's trying to do is make Judah feel like they're a white man. I'm an American. You guys can't just come to America and do this and that. We're Americans, right? Not realizing the white man that did evil to everybody on this island, right? But all they're doing is they're propelling things out there to cause more divide. So now not only do they want a black and Hispanic divide, then they want the black man from America to be divided against the black man from the Caribbean. You see what I'm saying? Then the Latinos, they divided against each other. I just was watching a video with this, but he's Central American, right? I sent him a video that a Mexican girl did talking about why Mexicans don't like Central America. So it ain't even just that. Then you go amongst them, they don't like Mexican. You ever call a Puerto Rican a Mexican, he gonna look at you like you called him a piece of garbage. Why would you call me a Mexican? Of all things in the world. Like that's the worst thing you can be. See, the divide, it go within the tribes against each other, kingdom against each other, right? Get Deuteronomy 28 and 54, matter of fact, right? All of it go back to prophecy that we was gonna be like that. Same way Negroes look at each other some type of way, walking up, nigga this minding his business. You looking at him like he owe you something. You see what I'm saying? For no damn reason, right? It's all a part of the curses that came upon us. You got it? Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate,
read on.
His eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
See that our eyes are just evil towards each other. So we're gonna have disconnect, dysfunction, beef about any little thing we can, right? In this city, right, there used to be a rapper, used to be signed to Waka Flocka named Slim Dunk. Used to love Slim Dunkin music. You know that nigga got killed about a damn Tootsie Roll? One of them little fruity, something like that. Got killed about a Tootsie. A nigga is gonna hate you about anything he can. Why? Because read it again.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
His eye just evil toward his brother. So whatever little excuse a Negro can find to kill somebody, he gonna do it. I know a nigga that killed somebody over 57 cents. He told him I got 50 cents. He went in his pocket, see 57, and killed him, predicated upon there was 7 extra cents in there than he was forthcoming about. Listen, and these niggas was little kids, 12 and 13 years old, they did that, right? Who killed the nigga because he had 7 extra cents in his pocket? That's an evil eye. There's no other explanation for that. So it all just goes back to the curses. So once we, what a lot of our people suffer from, I had to look this up because I knew there was the white man had some name for this. What a lot of our people suffer from is something called denialism, right? I'm gonna show you what denialism is. It blew my mind, but I knew the white man had some type of name for this, right? Denialism. This is crazy. So look, denialism in the psychology of human behavior, denialism is a person's choice to deny reality as a way to avoid a psychologically uncomfortable truth. So I don't like the way it makes me feel, so I'm gonna just deny it. So you can come and hit somebody with all the facts, but if they simply just hate Latino people, they're gonna say, I don't care what facts you bring, they're not a part of us, right? Or if a Latino just simply hates black people, I don't care, I'm not dealing with them. We can have all the facts in the world. They just want to deny it because it's uncomfortable to them based on their own personal convictions, right? Or if they don't like the way the scripture get broken down, they want to deny it. Just like a Christian, you bring out, we got a follow the laws, or the Lord was a so-called black man, and Deuteronomy 28:68, they'll deny it all day. Why? Because it's uncomfortable to them. It shakes up their world too much to where, nah, I don't want to accept it because it just makes me too uncomfortable. And that's the problem. Our people suffer from that psychological disorder to where we deny the facts because we don't like the facts. You know, that's the same way to why. What is Donald Trump calling alternative facts? People want to come with alternative facts now. You see what I'm saying? Fake news versus the real news, because the real news, and man, it hurts. It's too raw. It's too rough. It's just the facts, man. These are the Israelites, man. All the prophecies, all the script, all the science, all the history, it all works cohesively to prove that. But when people don't like it, they just deny it based off of nothing, right? Like, for example, they say, well, some of them ain't got woolly hair, right? You gotta have woolly hair. You know how funny of an argument that is? We from Shem, right? Yeah. Shem. So Shem had a son named Elam, right? Elam is who? The people of India and Iran. What kind of hair do they got? Straight or nappy? Straight. They got the straightest hair. See, the sister ain't going to buy the white girl hair. She going to buy the East Indian girl hair, right? Yeah. That's the straight hair she got on her head. So wait a minute. He's the Shemite and his hair is straight. So is it far-fetched that you had other Shemites that had straight hair too, and there wasn't a mix of some had kinky hair, woolly hair, some in between, etc., right? If we have some Shemites with straight hair, we can't say all of them had woolly hair, because now the East Indian, though, he's dark-skinned. I find East Indian here darker than everybody out here, right? But he got straight hair. See what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people don't understand how genetics work, how genes can pick and choose, how they operate, things of that nature. You know, because the Most High, he designed beings to be intelligent, right? So as soon as you ejaculate to make a child, you're sending intelligent life forms that are pre-programmed into the woman. So they're going to choose what traits they take on. You see what I'm saying? And you're not thinking about that, because all you're thinking about, and you in that moment, you know what you're thinking about, right? But what you don't realize is going on is highly intelligent animals are being deposited into this woman to go into an egg so they can grow into a human being that's programmed as to whose traits it's going to take to what. That's the science of it, right? But our people ain't understanding. They're just saying, man, you got to have, if you don't look like how I want you to look, or I feel like you should look, then that ain't true, right? Like somebody would deny somebody being black because they feel like, oh, they're not dark enough, they don't look black enough. So that negates the fact that they in fact have ancestry that's black, right? We're gonna just negate black ancestry to say, well, you don't look like that, so it just can't be. That's denialism. We gotta deal with the fact.
That's prominent though amongst us.
Amongst us, even once you learn you're an Israelite, they still taking that shalom, man. They still taking that. And they coming into the truth and they accepting part of it, but then they still going, but I'm still going to bring this with me, this denial of certain things with me. You see this with sisters, right? You have a sister that come into the truth and she like, okay, I'm an Israelite, I got to keep love. But then there's certain parts she just don't want to get down with. She don't like it. Oh, my man can have more than one wife. I don't like that part. Nah, it ain't about you don't like a part of it. Listen, the Lord told me I couldn't eat pork. You think I ate pork, but I had to stop doing it, right? No, I don't do it now, but I did it before. Then I come into the truth and I find out I can't. Listen, I used to sell drugs. That's the only damn way I know how to get some money on some dope. You tell me I can't do that no more? What am I? You think I like that? Yeah. No, but I had to get rid because it's not my way. It's the Most High's way. Yeah. I got to, whatever He want me to do, I got to just submit myself to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So That's what people got to understand. We can't pick and choose. We got to just say, okay, what the book say? We going strictly off of that alone.
Explain this to me. When the book say when you offend in one part of the law, you break the whole law.
Well, because if the law is the law, right? So if you break it, it's broken, right? You've broken the law. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't mean just because I break it, I'm gonna just break. That doesn't give a gateway to lawlessness. That's saying people try to separate sins, right? Oh, eating pork ain't as bad as being a homosexual. It's the law you broke it. You're in this society, right? If you jaywalk, you're a damn criminal, right? Or if you murder somebody, you're a criminal. Two drastically different things, right?
Yes, sir.
You ain't hurting nobody you might hurt your damn self jaywalking, but you ain't hurting nobody versus you took somebody's life, right? But either way, you be called a criminal. So that's just the same thing. You broke the law, you're a lawbreaker. You see what I'm saying? No matter what law you broke, you are in fact a lawbreaker. That's why we needed the Messiah so bad, because what it say, matter of fact, give me, what is that, Colossians 2? You give a precept? Yeah. What precept? Have him read it, right, whatever precept. And then we'll get that. What's that?
The book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 5. Concerning propitiation.
Yeah.
Be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
That's right. Be not without fear to add sin unto sin. So
What's that mean? What's that mean?
So basically saying that, okay, if you're a sin, you broke a law, you've sinned. The law is broken. That don't mean you then use that to add sin to sin, right? Let's say you slip up. That ain't necessarily the end of the world, right? But you don't go, damn, damn, I had a bacon cheeseburger. I might as well have sex with somebody's wife while I'm at it. Might as well just hit on somebody's wife while I'm at it. Nah, you go, damn, I messed up. I need to repent, seek the Lord, as opposed to adding sin. Because that's what somebody will do. Like kids used to do that when you was young. Damn, I'm already in trouble. I might as well stay out all night now. I mean, I'm in trouble already, right? See, that's the key, and that's what they try to do. You know what? I done messed up. Well, I might as well just rack up a whole bunch of stuff before I get home, so I can just get this one ass whooping and get it out the way, right? See what I'm saying? That's that mentality we can't have. That's basically what it's saying. Finish it.
And say not his mercy is great.
It said, don't say, oh, the Lord is merciful, so I can just keep messing up all I want, because he don't have mercy. Yes, he is merciful, but he also is just. He also is vengeful. He's also angry, right? He also let Elijah call a bear to come and eat 40 little kids. You see what I'm saying? So you don't play with him. That's the thing. You don't say, oh, he's merciful. So then you start to play with him, because then he's going to show you not to play with him. You see what I'm saying? So we got to know, when you slip up, you got to get right immediately.
But doesn't that script imply that we're going to sin?
Well, you're right. It does imply that we're going to slip. Nobody said we're not going to slip. That's why Yahushua said a righteous man falleth 7 times, but he's going to get back up.
Yes,
so we don't use the sin, because this is what happens, right? Some brothers, they may mess up, and then they let it drag them down. I done seen a brother who messed up so bad it dragged him down, dragged him all the way out the truth. He's in prison now. Right now, he's in prison, because he just let it drag him down. You don't let it drag you down. You got to keep going, period. Right? Like a lot of people in the Olympics. What was the Olympics? Last one, 2016. In the Olympics, right? You had they was doing the hurdles, right? It was a Haitian dude doing it. Everybody made fun of him on social media. The nigga hit the first hurdle, fell on his face. But what'd he do? Got up and ran. He could have just whatever. I'm on. Nah, he got up and he ran the rest of. You got to run the rest of the race, because you don't know what's gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? We got to run the rest of that race, man. That was a tremendous example of running the rest of the race.
Right.
We ain't just because we fail. Don't mean we're going to stop running. We got to keep running in church. You got, there's more on that, or you got another precept? Was another precept? Give me, what is that, Colossians 2 and 14? You know? Go ahead.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 14.
You know what?
Blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us.
Exactly. So all the charges against us, all the sins that we commit, it was nailed to that cross, right, Reed?
Which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross.
That's right. See that? So that's what symbolized when who the world called Christ. Yahushua got nailed to that cross. That all the sins that we committed was nailed to that cross. You see what I'm saying? But if we go out of the way and leave him, then that don't count for you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't. You gonna get that judgment now. Oh, you said a lot of sins. A lot of sins.
No, it's in the whole capital sin.
Capital, like ones worthy of death. Okay.
See, you can't get right.
Well, the thing is this. He's got to want to, right? Scriptures say there's only one sin that's not forgivable, which is blasphemy of the Holy Ghost, right? So he could be forgiven for a murder, for doing whatever, but he's got to put his foot forward, or else he's not going to be forgiven of the murder. You see what I'm saying? That's why Christ talk about being born again. Because when you're born again, you're not a murderer anymore. You didn't do those things that you used to do, because now you're a new creature.
You still get the judgment though?
If they steadfast in Yahweh Shai, you're not going to get the judgment. You're going to get your deliverance. But if you turn left and right, okay, well, you're going to get all that back up on you. We got to stay. That's why I say he didn't endure to the end. You got to endure to the end, then you're going to say, okay, you getting that pardon. Give me that on Revelations 2. They talk about the white stone, right? Because that's a key thing to talk about in the book of Revelation, that white stone and the symbology of it, right? You got it? 17? 17.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 17. He that hath an ear, let him hear.
Read on.
But the Spirit said unto the churches, to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone.
And will give him a white stone and say that he that overcometh, that's him that overcome the sin and the things of this world. He gonna get a white stone, right? So we know that they were dealing in Roman time. The Romans had the rule. In Rome, if you got a white stone, that means you were pardoned, you were innocent. If you got a black stone, that means you were guilty. So when he said you're gonna get a white stone, all the things that you did, you're gonna just get a pardon on, right? That's why I say Christ is the advocate. We have an advocate in heaven, which is Christ. As we call him, the Johnny Cochran in the sky that's arguing your case to the judge, which is the Most High. So, but if you leave him, he ain't your public defender no more, man. You know what I mean? You ain't got nobody. You gonna get the book thrown at you. So literally, right? The literal book thrown at you. You see what I'm saying? That's why we got to stay in him so we can get the white stone and get that pardon for our past iniquity. You know what I'm saying? And anything we may slip up on the way, we got to get our pardon for that. But even then, like it talk about you give go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 18. Who is a God like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity, and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage?
You see that? He's pardoning iniquity, letting you know the Most High is going to pardon, but he's set up the way in which he pardons us, which is through faith in his Son. That's Micah 5 and 17?
7 and 18.
7 and 18, Micah 7 and 18.
Shalom, what's going on? It's your brother, Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew, and I'm just letting y'all know I just dropped my official clothing line, Urban Guerrilla. Go to urbangorilla.com right now to check us out, man, and pick something up. There's urbngrla.com. We got all kind of items for men, women, children, even infants, as well as fragrance oil, smell goods. You can also check out Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co., another Sicarii business, on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can hit up deaconsicari.com to get your plug on the scarves, the music, and the children's Bibles. Thanks for your time. All praise to the Most High. Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.